And he looked at me, I'll never forget it. He goes, Ty, business takes balls. He goes, this is how it works. Out of every 10 deals, only one of them works. All right, everybody, welcome to the Ty Lopez Show. I'm here with Crystal and Francois and Zach, and we're talking about why Crystal is giving away $2.2 million of cryptocurrency this month. Thank you for the sound effect, Zach. Somebody said, what about Litecoin? She's got an artificial intelligence chatbot cryptocurrency on the blockchain, and she's already raised $6 million, and she's given $2.2 million. I'm giving away cash on the show. So, Crystal, thanks for being here. And we're going to have to put this very close.
Thank you.
Francois, we have two very interesting people here. Zach, say hello.
Why did you say two interesting people?
Because I already know you.
Oh.
Well, I know them a little bit, but Zach, you're interesting too. Sorry about that. Ty, are you paying her to be on this? No, but she's paying me $2.2 million. No, not really, but thank you for the sound effect.
Keep doing that.
So let's talk about this. Everybody listening, by the way, little side note I like to remind people, if in 2010 you had put $100 in Bitcoin cryptocurrency, today you would have over $75 million. Not bad, right? All of you have been working hard since 2010. You didn't have to if you had just put $100 in. So Crystal, how long have you been in the cryptocurrency space?
So I have personally had crypto for a few years, quite some time. It's 4 years, I think, is a long time.
Yeah, 4 years is a long time.
Yeah, I heard about it in 2009. One of my developers was running their computer overnight at my office, and I used to think he was just pirating software or music. And he was like, "I'm mining Bitcoin." Like, what is that?
Huh. If you don't know what mining Bitcoin is, by the way, basically a real simple explanation is you have to verify transactions on cryptocurrency. It's different than like US dollars and euros and pounds. And so there's people that go out there and they verify these blockchain transactions, and in exchange, they occasionally win some money. So they called them like miners, kind of like gold miners.
Yeah, it's a distributed network. It's kind of like when you would, get like a BitTorrent or get music that a lot of people are sharing all at the same time. You download one file. It's a lot of people are verifying a transaction, so you don't have to have a centralized bank or anybody else doing it.
Yep, it's decentralized. There's a lot of, I think the biggest mining country is China. China has the most. All right, let's give away $100. Yeah. All right, hold up the cash. I'm doing this for people who pay attention. $100. If you had put $100 in Bitcoin, in what year would you have $75 million today? What year did you need to put it in? What year, not what amount. Here we go. There we go. Here, right here, there's a whole bunch. Cody Voss in 2010. Congratulations, Cody Voss. We're going to PayPal you $100 for paying attention. By the way, at the end, I'm giving away this iPhone. So, what's that noise in the background?
It's this broad right here.
Oh, Francois.
Popping on her phone when we're recording.
Francois is watching us live.
Watching YouTube.
So, I'm going to keep giving away a lot of money. Now, so you have this app, or we should call it a chat bot. For those of you who don't know, AI stands for artificial intelligence. What do you think, Zach? Is artificial intelligence, are robots going to take over the world?
Yeah, oh yeah, I definitely think that. Well, didn't you say it's like 2100 is when they expect it to?
By the year 2100, I read a book. There's a good book on artificial intelligence which says there's a 90% chance computers will be smarter than humans,
or humans will be computers. The singularity is also possible.
So would you put a little, like, become a cyborg and put something in your head?
100%.
You would?
Yeah.
You
I already have a power button implant.
That's like the
Oh, look, she has a power button on her arm.
That is the mark of the beast. The Bible is true.
Zach, can you not say she's the Antichrist, please? Don't
insult
my podcast guests.
I had my doubts until I sat here. And
Francois, show them your Sense jacket. By the way, so Sense is giving away $2.2 million of coins, and I'm going to put out a way you guys, if you want a chance to get it, I got a little promotion code. If my followers do I get like a referral amount of coins too?
Absolutely.
Oh, good. So you guys will actually help me make some coins too. So let's talk about this Sense app, because people watching, maybe not everybody knows about cryptocurrency, but they just want to build like an AI bot. What does Sense do?
So Sense is the currency. Sense is the value exchange that can go into any chatbot or app. And right now, the first application is called Sensei. So that's the chatbot. Sensei is SENSAY, and you can find it on Facebook Messenger, SMS,
So you can basically,
Telegram.
when you're on Facebook Messenger or Telegram, I saw it, like you ask a question, and they asked one of them, Zach, you'll like this. So I'm going to ask you. The question was, what's the best pickup line? And then other people on the app, and it can be pre-programmed, will start giving answers. It's kind of like Siri, but built by millions of people instead of just Apple.
That is the best description I've ever heard. Yes. So Sensei connects you. It's a chatbot network. It connects you to humans, and it's about anything that you want to know. So really, it's just connecting you as if the AI was really smart, as if Siri was human and could talk back to you.
And you could become a guru, right? Mm-hmm. So you could be, if you really are smart about something. What is somebody smart about here? Somebody put ribs. You're smart about ribs? So someone could ask a question like, if you live in Toledo, Ohio, where's the best place to get ribs?
Yeah, exactly. And then it's going to connect to people who are in Toledo, and maybe it's going to connect to people in Austin or people who've been there before. The AI part of it gets smarter about the people. So it learns about everything Ty knows, and then is able to route those questions to Ty when they come up.
And
So
is it
basic-
also kind of learning based off of what people are providing as
Yeah,
answers? It's
exactly.
collecting.
Thank you, Zach, for just repeating.
That's what I was.
exactly what she
I was asking to confirm. Is that basically?
Here's how my friend Zach listens. She goes, so basically what this app does is use artificial intelligence to get smarter based on answers. Zach goes, so I've got a question.
No, I didn't say that.
So does this app get smarter?
I was dumbing it down for the dummies out there, not for me.
Yeah, so someone just said Facebook does that. And the difference is that Facebook connects you by your social connections. So it's all the people that you know, the people you went to school with, that you work with. The difference is Sensei connects you to everybody. So imagine your contact list has access to everyone that you don't know. So it's more distributed.
So yeah, one of my favorite books on artificial intelligence is called, of course I can't remember the name. I'll remember in 1 second. Anyway, there's 3 types of artificial intelligence. Collaborative intelligence is the one that most interests me. So you have cyborgs, which is like number 1, like you put a chip in your brain. You have the second one you have is supercomputers, like you build these massive mainframe. I mean, they already kind of have this, but the third one is collaborative intelligence. So the idea is if you want to bet, go to Vegas and bet what basketball team wins, like will the Lakers. By the way, your app, your Sensei app, I think is going to be used for making people money, because what you could do, you're in Vegas, you're playing blackjack, you take a picture of what your hand is.
They won't let you do that though, remember?
No, but you have a cyborg eye. So your eye takes a picture of it, or you have the
like if
Snapchat.
Google Glass were cool.
Snapchat glasses. You take it and I wonder if anybody's done that. You take those Google Glass and you like put a little microphone into your ear that they can't see at the casino. It's not really illegal. The casino wouldn't be happy. And then it could just tell you like, take a hit, take the card, stay. And the idea is collaborative the book, by the way, is called Super Intelligence. My Mark Bostrom. I just remembered it. Isn't that how intelligent I am? I can't remember the intelligent book. But I think that will give you better answers than even a supercomputer.
Yeah, exactly. So look, we're the ones that program the computers, right? So AI fundamentally is built around humans. It's human intelligence that is the core of it. And everything that we do, the important part of the way that we communicate, the way we connect is through conversation. Like all ideas are transferred through conversation. And everything we've ever done in life has been our ability to communicate with each other. So technology is moving that way. Yeah. And everything that we have, we're going to be talking to. And text input is one way, messaging is one way, and talking is the other way. So that's really what we're building, is the ability to leverage conversation to get smarter, faster, and do it through the human network. So almost like if every brain was a database, sitting on this whole network.
It is. And you connect them all.
Exactly.
And that's what blockchain will do. By the way, $100. I'm going to do a surprise question right now. What's the author of the book I just mentioned? I'm seeing who's paying attention. What is the author? Dun, 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 dun. Here we go. Right there. This Twitter account is called Bored Ty Lopez, and that's correct. Nick Bostrom. You know how they have Thank you, Zach, for that. Zach is running the sound effects over here. Nick Bostrom. You mean who is the author? Isn't that what I said?
Yeah,
Yes.
that's what you said.
So let's step
We
back.
could ask Sensei next time.
Yeah. So okay, could we? Is that an example? You could literally go and ask Sensei, and be like, now you've raised $6 million for. You're doing what's called an ICO, right?
Yes.
So for those of you listening, ICO, like in the regular old school business, you had something called IPOs, initial public offerings. So like Snapchat did an IPO, Facebook did an IPO. Now you have something called ICOs, which are initial coin offerings. So they call them coins or tokens. It's a way you can raise money in some ways easier and quicker and with less regulations, although the regulatory bodies are starting to come in, which Crystal's already working on because she has a voluntary, what is it?
I've joined the ICO Governance Foundation, and I'm helping stand that up from the ground up. So it's really about creating standards rather than rules, and just letting people know who are putting their money in that the ones they're putting their money in are safe. So you'll see this come up a lot, and especially if you are in the cryptocurrency world. Really, the reason that we're raising this way is so that we can give a share of the company to everybody involved. The idea is
So
that
if you
you're
use
distributing
it, they can, as opposed to Facebook and Instagram. You and I, we post on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and the only person that get rich from that, for Facebook, of course, is Mark Zuckerberg and the other shareholders.
Yeah, by selling your data. Do you know how much
Yeah.
they make every quarter on advertising?
What's the exact number?
The last number was $8 billion
$8 billion a quarter.
on your data. So really what we want to do is we want to give you that money because it's your data, it's your time. And so if you share that and you're willing, it's also your choice, then you can share your data and make money for it.
Akash Savali is saying, how can we win the coin from Sensei? So what do you have to do to get it? Because I got a referral code. By the way, I just found out if you guys get coin, I get some coins too because you use my referral code. So make sure you don't misspell it. It's Tai, T-A-I. My name is the referral code, right?
What's my referral code?
There is no referral
Also-
code for Zach.
Also, well, if you can pull up
Yeah, if you want to refer coin for Zach, just put in T-A-I. That's how you do it.
makesense.com.
No.
Zach wants some of that Zach, if you got 2.2 million in Sense coins, and would you cash them in or would you see if they went up in value?
I'd see if they went up in value. Well, I'd take out a little bit. to
How much
pay
would
off
you take
my
out?
gambling debts?
How much do
'Cause
you
I've
own
got
the
people
mafia?
after me. Yeah, so
Zach owes the mafia how much? What?
I
okay.
don't want to say.
You
I
don't
want
wanna
to
say?
go on record.
Are they like the Italian mafia or like Russian mob, Colombian mob?
Well, I think they're all in cahoots together.
Is it
'Cause
Illuminati?
I've been to Vegas casinos, Atlantic City casinos, Native American casinos.
So that
There's
you're on the hook for all of them?
Yeah, I'm.
The Illuminati is making a coin,
I don't
I
wanna-
heard.
Really? So do you believe in the Illuminati?
And Scientology as well. It's going to be the Elron coin.
Are you serious?
I'm totally kidding. But
What would you do, Francois, if you get 2.2 million in coin? Would you try to cash some in, or would you just let it ride?
I think I'd let it ride. I think it makes more sense to let things ride.
We haven't let your voice listen to that radio voice. It's such a good voice. You should be on the radio.
Not the face.
No, you have a face for TV and a voice for radio. Although, why does your voice sound a little bit like you've been partying? Have you been partying?
It is the season to party, and it's been Halloween, so I've been in New York.
What kind of party did you go to?
We went to the Box with Simon, the owner of the Box, and then we went to Party Monster at Tao, and now we're going to go somewhere else.
What's the craziest thing you've ever done when you partied that you'll share?
Shipwrecked a boat.
Really?
Rustic.
A yacht?
Yeah, a 12-person catamaran.
And were you sailing it?
I was part of the crew, the two-man crew.
And you crashed it into a what?
Into a coral reef. The the dinghy got stuck in the motor, and we
That's
had
what she said.
we had the tail end of a hurricane as well, and I didn't actually have any experience.
You got in a hurricane
love-
in a catamaran?
I love the image of a dozen people partying on a boat, like not paying attention, and then all of a sudden a dinghy getting stuck. That's a funny image. It's a very, funny image.
Oh, let me Snapchat this so people know what we're doing for a second. All right, I'm doing a podcast. Say hello. I got Crystal, Francois, Zach. We're talking about Crystal's app is pretty cool. It's cryptocurrency ICO. She's giving away $2.2 million in coin. What, this month?
Yeah, that's just the existing users. There's more to come.
And you've raised $6 million and have 3 million customers for her artificial intelligence Sense app. It's pretty cool. Check out the podcast. We're here. We're rocking and rolling.
Makes sense.
All right, so let's keep going on this. I want to ask you this. How long have you been in tech for?
Since I was in the crib. So
You were in the crib?
with a Macintosh.
By the way, check this out. Since rewarding human capital, there's 6 days left. So you go to sensetoken.com. Where do they put in my referral code? On the get notified thing?
I'll tell you in a minute.
Okay. Can you tell us?
Yeah. Actually, if you just sign up for Get Notified about the sale, you're going to get a personal note back and then put in Ty's info.
Oh, okay. So you put it in and then you'll get something back.
Yep.
Sweet.
Put your info in.
Right
This is
there?
it. This
You
is
put
it.
your
This is
info.
for early access. So it opens up in 6 days. And at that point, you could put Ty in and go
Oh,
right
it doesn't
in.
open for 6 days.
Yeah, this is the countdown timer.
Oh, you got to wait 6 days.
Where do they put my referral?
You can put it right
The referral
in-
for Zach, if you love Zach, is Ty, T-A-I.
Yeah, sense token, S-E-N-S-E. Sense
Yes.
like making sense. I've been coding actually since I was 11 years old. So I was, grew up with computers. The Atari was my best friend. I love all things technology. Even had to code, command line and DOS. This is like making me sound old, but to get into my games. So I grew up coding and knowing that is just a way of expressing myself and kind of like writing. People learn another language. I didn't learn Spanish or French. I learned, PHP, HTML, and Perl.
Zach, what were you doing in the crib? Were you learning PHP?
No, I was usually flirting with the girl in the next crib.
The nurse?
Yeah,
Zach's
sure. Yeah. I like my women older.
older.
Yeah.
Like when you're 2, you like them 30. Zach likes women who are at least 28 years older than him. That's his primary goal. Somebody said amazing stuff. Someone said she's a coding girl. Someone said they want to raise capital. Okay. I want you to answer this for 1 millisecond. I'll be back in this room in 2 minutes, but I want to leave you. It'll be good because I can't interrupt. Zach is now taking over for 2 minutes. What did you learn raising capital? You raised $6 million for your company. Somebody listening, because one of the most common questions is, how do I get investors? How do I raise money? Can you speak to that and help people understand the whole process? Like, what's your advice to somebody who has an idea, who has a company, they want to raise some money?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Raising money is very difficult, but very necessary. I've had 3 tech companies, and the first one I raised no capital for, and it took a long time to get to profitability. I sold that company and used the capital to bootstrap my second company, which I then immediately spent all of my capital for, and realized that I could leverage other people's money better than using just my own. You can scale faster, you can build a team faster. It's a lot easier when you do have capital, so that's why everybody wants to raise. When I went towards the traditional VC route, I had a lot of institutional investors that I approached, and I learned really quickly that you'll take 100 meetings and many of them will result in more meetings, and it's a very long, drawn-out process. It's something where you go into it with a product or with at least a prototype. When I went in with a pitch deck, it was one conversation. When I came in with a working prototype, it was another conversation, and it was a lot friendlier. When I had a prototype, what I learned then too is it's actually easier to get customers, and you start to go the route of really proving out your business, and you learn that you need less money than you think. Originally, I thought I might need $10 million. I actually only needed 6. And that was just an infrastructure thing. We were scaling so fast that we started our prototype on SMS only. We were the first invisible app on SMS, and the only one today that still is a full working product, so that basically the 5 billion people who have mobile devices could access it without downloading an app, without having to need data. We wanted to connect the whole world together, and so we went for the baseline thing that everybody has. Like, messaging is the thing everybody uses. When we started scaling, we got 1 million users on SMS. I had a 6-figure monthly text messaging bill. And at that point, we had to raise money. So really raise money when you need it and have a plan how you're going to use the capital. Don't arbitrarily find some number. Like, it sounds good that you're raising a certain amount, but really have a roadmap. And if you can show people that and prove that you have a value and do it incrementally. Go for the seed round of $1 million, like I raised $1.5 million, and then raise the additional $4.5 million after that when we knew we had traction. So I think it's really just understand how to use it and understand where it's going to go. The next step that we did was we went into bots. So in order to cut that cost, we have a partnership with Facebook, which we love. We have Telegram, Slack, Kik, and other messengers. We're starting to open up in WeChat soon. And we learned that bots were the way to go for communication. So the other thing about raising capital, it forces you to innovate sometimes when you have a finite amount of it.
Right. So sometimes you think some people can raise too much money?
I think so. I think it's actually, if you're overcapitalized, it's a detriment because you then just go get fancy offices and you focus on the furniture and what are the lamps going to look like, and you forget, let's get the swag. Now we do have amazing swag not because we're capitalized, but because we like
Show the swag.
We like to wear
She got
amazing
the swag.
things.
Zach, why aren't you wearing the swag? This is
I
a
stole one in Vegas.
glow in the
Crystal-
dark jacket.
You know what
Yeah,
Crystal
what's better in
said?
the dark?
Go talk
We need
to
to turn the lights
and
off.
said some dude's name.
Oh, these ones are technology enabled, so we like to only create what we like to wear, and these have electroluminescent wire in them, so they light up. We can give one away on your show.
Zach
Give one
needs
away?
that sweater
I'll give
you're
one to
wearing,
Zach.
Zach,
So that's lit how?
with jellyfish.
Exactly. It's EL wire. It's inspired by Burning Man.
Is it? Mm-hmm. Somebody said, don't bother with banks. One of the things that I have a buddy, so not buddy, just acquaintances, two guys. In fact, they're kind of annoying. So let me say this whole story. These two kind of annoying guys I know, they're on the East Coast. They raised, I think it was either $15 or $16 million for their company.
What if
okay?
right now they're like, that's us?
No, I
And
hope
they realize
I'm
they're the
doing
annoying one.
I'm doing it very vague so that if they're listening, they won't know. I doubt they're listening.
We're on the East Coast. We're dudes.
Well, if they raise 16 million, it's probably, yeah, somewhere in the world, two guys raised 16 million. They then said they went when I first met him, and I'm like, "What are you doing with the money?" They're like, "We hired like 30 coders in New York City." Like basically, you don't want to do that because New York City employees are very expensive because you have federal tax, state tax, city tax. You have Social Security you have to pay. So I was like, they literally had 30 coders. Just to put that in perspective, minimum, that's costing you $15,000 a month per. Let's say you're paying them 10 grand a month or 12 grand plus you got benefits, tax. So let's say 15,000. So they have 30. They were spending $450,000 a month on coders. And they didn't even know what they were coding. Guess what happened to that company? They raised 15 million and they sold it. They tried to sell it to my buddy for 500 grand. They're like, please. So
What was the domain name? Oh, you can't share
I'm
that.
not
But
gonna say.
Was it good enough to
no.
to
Why when
warrant
I
that?
heard the business idea, I was like, but going back to your point, the idea would have been better if they had only been given like 100 grand or $1 million because then they would have been forced to be disciplined, to be smart. So be careful. It's possible. I mean, it's great if you can raise a lot of capital. My business partner, Alex, that a lot of guys have seen on my show, he raised $80 million. And he used it, and his company's made $1 billion since they raised in the last decade. So, like, he makes $200 million bucks a year. The company makes $200 million, and it needed $60 million equity, $20 million in debt. So it's not, but he's a unique, very disciplined guy. Scott Bridgman said, never, ever throw money at a problem. Sometimes, Scott, I agree with you in general, but once in a while, are you throwing money? If you want to get in a club or
There you
something,
go.
believe it or not, throwing
it
money
works.
at the bouncers sometimes works.
And capital is a good thing. I mean, let's talk about capital for a minute. There are a lot of different types, right? Like, so most people think of capital and they're like, this is capital. And really there are many types of capital. So the one that we love is human capital, right? So what you're earning right now, all those hearts, that's social capital. We get these followers and we get these loves and these likes and we grow these networks, and like that's a very meaningful thing. That's a thing that creates value, but it's quantified in hearts and thumbs, and it's not really quantified in dollars necessarily. It is for the advertisers. Maybe it is for your ability to sell something, but social capital is important because it's networking. Human capital is the thing that we think we've identified that you can earn money on, that people are leaving on the table. So human capital is like your skills and your life experience and your knowledge
And
and
who you know.
all the stuff. That's that's social capital. That's
How attractive
but it's
you
like
are.
it's like if you took
Let's
away
face it, good-looking
everything.
people have more capital. And
Zach uses his beauty capital to become a successful.
Well, that's usually a lure to get other people's capital.
Do you use that? Has that been part of your? How much money
That's
have
my
you,
move.
Zach? How much money have you raised with your beauty capital so far? How much money have you raised total in the last 5 years for?
I'm definitely in the red on that. Let's just leave it at that.
Zach's.
So we use our capital every day. Most people are using their human capital on social media because they're giving away something. They're giving away their knowledge. Like Ty shares so much knowledge and you benefit so many people. Then if we could take all that knowledge and we could package it up and make an asset out of it,
Yep.
we could then sell it and we could resell it. And
Yep.
so that's what Sense does. Sense allows you to take all the stuff that you've done before and contributed digitally online and take all the stuff that you will do in the future and your ability to connect with other people, and it rewards you for it.
And not just make Mark Zuckerberg rich. You know, the youngest billionaire, self-made billionaire in history, it was Zach Quiz. All right, I'm going to give this
Can we-
$100. First person to answer. Who is the youngest self-made billionaire in history? What's their name? Then you need the Jeopardy thing, man.
That's it.
Mark Zuckerberg.
Ask
No,
Sensei.
no. You have to say the name right there. Ketty M. The name is Evan Spiegel. Evan Spiegel. By the time he was under 25 years old. He started Snapchat, and he was worth, I think, about $1 to $2 billion before 25. He married a supermodel recently, Miranda Kerr. He's done pretty well in life. Although Snapchat right now is under major attack from Instagram stories. Let's talk about that for
Can
one
I-
millisecond.
Yeah, okay.
What do you think of Snapchat versus Instagram? Do you have an opinion?
So I'm from Venice, California, Venice Beach, and Snapchat has a huge presence. They basically took over my old office as well as many others. So on a personal level, I feel that their company has expanded really quickly. On an application level, I think what they did was really it's changed the world and the way that we connect in the same way that cryptocurrency does. I'm going to tie it around because you created ephemeral messages, right? So before, all of our data was constantly stored. Like no matter what you did, you're on Facebook, you're on Twitter, wherever you are, YFrog, the old image sharing network, your stuff is there permanently. And Snapchat changed that model. And so they did one small, tiny thing that radically forever changed our perspective on how our data is shared. So I like what they've done. Instagram is the other side. I think Instagram, same thing. They did one feature and radically changed the way that we share, which is giving you the ability to make yourself look amazing and filter. It was simple, but it also...
Do you use the Instagram filters?
Oh, yeah.
Snap filters?
The snap filters are funny. I like to turn myself into a princess.
Zach does that too.
No,
I've caught him.
I'm anti-facial recognition. What do you think about all of that going on?
Oh yeah, Zach and his brother are super into the theory that they're being monitored at all times.
Well,
Have you
not
seen-
so much that I'm being monitored, but it's just the idea of I can now easily be identified. I'm giving over all of that data to...
So your facial
Yeah,
structure.
cloud
Well,
and-
well, here's the big secret, right? So like Siri now, not Siri, the Apple new software update, you can have facial recognition do your emojis for you. Have you seen that?
So you make a face?
You make a face, and it puts the emoji, right?
Francois, make a face.
I love emojis.
That would be a fun one.
Wait, we need to hear your voice. Francois, what's your favorite emoji?
The unicorn,
Why?
because I'm sat opposite one.
Yes. Thank you. That was a compliment. Francois just called me a unicorn. You know that I was part of that mission to get the unicorn as part of the emoji, a standard keyboard. One of my geeky secrets is
Really?
Yeah,
So did it work?
yeah.
Is the unicorn?
There's a voting committee. So we just did the butterfly.
You
the
literally
unicorn,
can
the
vote?
champagne.
Yeah, where's that at?
The taco. You have to join the consortium. It's very
The taco?
prestigious. And
Can you use your beauty capital? Could I mean, will that help me?
Zach, what emoji
Join-
would you want? What's emojis not there that you would add?
oh, like they gave you
Oh,
some unicorn
man, I should
emojis.
think about that. I don't know.
It's really
Give me a
cute.
second. I'll get back to you on that.
Come on, Zach. Zach, I think would have the funny. I think he'd have Zach did stand-up comedy yesterday or 2 nights ago, and he pissed off the crowd in Hollywood because he was telling I'm not even going to get into it because I don't want the flack. But Zach
Hey,
loves to be non-politically correct. Whatever is politically correct, Zach is doing the opposite and getting heckled from stage.
But I'm also getting cheered.
Yeah, half of America, all the Donald Trump followers are cheering.
No,
Zach.
no, that's not.
That's true.
I don't bring up any.
No, but I'm saying if you did the segment on the jokes you were doing,
Oh,
Zach was basically.
no, because you got.
What was your basic joke that pissed so many people off?
Well, I was just expressing frustration and explaining how I'm starting to get really pissed off at transvestites.
Because of Tinder, what's happening to you here
so
in LA?
At first, they got all pissed off. They're like, it was a very sensitive subject for me to be bringing up and talking about getting pissed off.
This is at the Improv Laugh Factory Comedy Club.
Yeah, yeah. And so, of course, they just, you got so many people that get triggered easily out there. These women were very easily triggered over the fact that I was annoyed at transvestites. But before I explained why it was, they
Once you explained why it was, they weren't so mad. And
right,
why are
right.
you getting mad? Because you're saying they're so pretty and they're on your Tinder and you're accidentally going on
I'm
dates.
matching with a lot of transvestites because I just kind of swipe right. I don't read the profile and look into it. And it's confusing me. And because being from North Carolina, transvestites in the South are not good looking.
They have mustaches.
You can see them easily. And I actually matched. I was telling the story last night. I matched with a transvestite on, I think it was Bumble. And they gave me their phone number. So I called, and whenever they answered, what was it we said last night? It sounded like Optimus Prime on the other end. Like it was, hello. That's when I went back and looked at the profile, and it was like in transition. I thought, uh-oh.
But did you have a good conversation?
I hung up.
Okay.
You
All right.
did?
No,
Zach,
I'm kidding.
that's not very
That's-
kind.
No, I'm only kidding. I'm just joking about all of it. None of this has ever happened.
Matching other humans is important. I mean,
Have we lost? Somebody said, all they said is, ha, 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 ha. That's what somebody wrote. That is the
Nice.
most descriptive. Somebody said, are you, Zach, a transvestite? Someone said, Crystal is pretty.
Thank you. Now, all right, let's talk about that stuff, right? So, what if you could take down all of the vanity layers of a person, all the stuff we see on social media? So Ty's beautiful face wouldn't be there. You would see nothing, and the only way that you could connect to him was through his brain. And so
like
you would
that.
connect to a person based on what they know, not who they know, and not where they came from, and not what they look like, and not what gender they are. So that's what Sensei does. Sensei matches you to people you're likely to have a good conversation with, no matter how old they are or young they are. It doesn't really matter. It's more about the
So
brain.
you won't be able to discriminate
Right.
anymore, Zach.
There will still be a form of discrimination even in that model.
You're saying because the dumb people will be discriminated against.
Right. I mean,
But at least that's an intellectual form of discrimination, and then that's more understandable. The judgment stuff that we have is like, I'm not going to talk to you because you're a chick. I'm not going to talk to you because you're too old or you're too young. And so if we take away that stuff and we look at what a person intrinsically has, that's the human capital stuff. Like that's the thing I've built up that I'm really good at. It doesn't matter about the other parts. And I think that's the future. When we're all cyborgs, we can pick whatever body we want.
What body would you pick?
Francois would be a unicorn.
You would pick Francois or you would pick a unicorn?
I would pick Trinity from The Matrix, if I could do anybody.
Wait, what is Trinity?
She's the girl in The Matrix. I know this is.
But you would take her
my
body
favorite movie of all
or her
time.
brain?
I would take or the blue bodies in Avatar. I would just go blue so everybody knows that I'm a full-on cyborg.
But Avatar, were they cyborgs? Weren't
But
they
that's
more
still-
just like
No,
aliens?
they were like aliens. They were more.
Yeah.
But if you're saying any body, I mean,
Francois,
no
what would you be?
restrictions.
I want to hear the great radio voice again. Come on, give us the UK.
I have to come up with who would I be
Yeah.
for the intelligence or the body?
The body.
You have your intelligence.
Oh, okay. Cindy Crawford.
You like Cindy Crawford?
I like Cindy Crawford.
But the young Cindy Crawford or the current Cindy Crawford?
I think any Cindy Crawford's pretty fucking hot.
What
You know what
about
I
if
would
she's
be?
93?
I would be an iPhone. I'd come back as a piece of hardware. Because it's like,
I like that.
maybe not like the screen necessarily, but it's so much more durable than the fleshy bodies that we have.
But you'd be so small. Although that could be used for.
I don't know. I've been having some problems with my iPhone as of late. So, and people could easily they get angry and throw.
You'd have a cracked
throw you.
screen.
Yeah.
I think.
No, please go ahead.
No,
It's your show.
I don't want to interrupt you and be rude like you were to the person on Bumble. Somebody said Christy. Yeah, Christy Brinkley.
We need to be better
Have
humans.
you guys? If you guys want to see the best example of marketing you have ever seen, literally, there is an infomercial for this melon skin cream. It's based on literally. They made it very like, oh, we found this special melon extract. It's really a cantaloupe. They took something from a cantaloupe and they put it in this skin cream, and they did an infomercial with Christy Brinkley, who's like 50 or 60, and she's still beautiful. And it's so convincing. I wanted to buy it, but it's not for men. And I was just like, dude, this is amazing. And no, she's not 72. Somebody said she's
that's discrimination.
Yeah, you
I don't
just
see why
discriminated. Why
it
use
is
it?
a cream. I mean, unless it has estrogen
because it
in
was
it.
literally built for. It's like cream for women. I get so whatever.
Hey, I use
That's good
oil
marketing.
of Olay.
That is good marketing. Look, humans are
Believe it or
humans.
not,
No, but it's
I'm
very-
57, and look at me.
You're 57.
I'm 57, but I use oil of Olay anti-wrinkle cream.
That's the only brand Zach could think of. That's why he said oil of Olay. Trust me, Zach does not. But what I was going to say for all you marketing people, because we're talking about raising capital and all this stuff, at the end of the day, you have to know how to connect with people. And somebody said, Zach, you look 60. Don't hurt Zach. Acts tough, but he actually gets his feelings hurt.
Right.
Trust me. No, but one of the secrets to marketing, there's something called the 25 cognitive biases. So the way humans decide things, you and I all think we're very logical, or most people think they're logical. But really, the older I get and the more I see in marketing, the more I realize basically nobody's logical, or very few people. There's a good book on this called Descartes' Error, and it's by a scientist who is saying that even the most logical person, if you understand how your brain works emotionally. So it's chemicals being released, whether they be dopamine, norepinephrine, all these things that make you decide things. So the simplest way, there's 25 like biases we have in our brain. So one of them, believe it or not, is liking bias or disliking bias. So if Adolf Hitler came and said, back from the dead, and said 2 + 2 is 4, and somebody everybody loves, I don't know, The Rock or Chrissy Teigen said 2 + 2 is 5, a lot of people would want to be like, I want to be on the side of The Rock because I like him, and I don't want to go on Hitler's side, even though logically Hitler's correct. So that's one of the psychological biases. So if you want to raise capital, you need to be likable. Believe it or not, I can't tell you.
I mean, these are really good qualities to have. And
Yeah, but some people aren't. I've had people be like, a complete asshole text me, like just being like, yo, I need to talk to you now. Answer your phone. And then I talk to him thinking it's some emergency. He's like, oh, will you help me raise capital? I'm like, no, you're a dick.
yeah,
Like,
asking for help is hard.
Hey, asshole, will you help me? That's my approach.
So asking for help. Actually, if you start out the opposite way, if you offer help first, like
Yes.
call Ty and be like, hey, what can I help you with? You know, what do you need? And then it'll lead into a lot better of a conversation.
Save the asshole for hey, what can I help you out
mean-
with, asshole?
Asking for help is a really challenging thing. We built a whole platform around it. You know, the first thing Sensei asks you to do is tell it what you want to talk about. Either you're going to help somebody or you're going to ask for help. And asking for help is the harder of the two things to do.
but
How-
which bias, do you know which bias that is? There's 2 biases in your brain. There's really 3 in the out of the 25. One is called reward bias, like if you reward somebody by doing something for them. There's another bias called reciprocity bias. Basically, if you scratch somebody's back first, they're infinitely more likely to scratch your back. And the third is called Kantian fairness, which is named after the famous philosopher Immanuel Kant, who basically said that humans are endowed with a certain sense of fairness. So, for example, let's take The Rock. If The Rock goes to Starbucks and there's a line and he really wants his coffee, he could just go to the front of the line and be like, I'm The Rock, I'm bigger, richer, and more famous than anyone here. And odds are probably nobody's going to confront him and pick a fight, right? But he's endowed with a basic sense of fairness that we get. Immanuel Kant said we basically get it from childbirth, that we understand that we're not the center of the universe, although more and more people in the world are becoming narcissistic. But people stand in lines, and that means we have a sense of fairness. So if you want to raise capital, like Crystal's saying, you need to do a series of things. One of them is be a likable person. That's one of them. The second thing would be to do something for them first.
Yeah.
The third thing is, and then they have to give you the reciprocity back, and they want to be fair. So
And be genuine, right? Like authenticity is really important. So, if you're trying to give somebody something that they really don't want, that's not really helping them. Like that's the traditional swag, like wear this terrible t-shirt with my big logo on it, but we're working on creating things people do want, or just genuinely, hey, I'm here for you anytime, call it in whenever you want, but there's an authenticity to it. And there's that genuine human element is really important. Treat everybody like they're your family, because really they are.
now let's talk about cryptocurrency side of thing. Somebody was asking, so you decided, you built this app, and you decided to build it on what's called the blockchain. Okay, are you using Ethereum?
We are. So it's the Ethereum blockchain.
Okay,
And
yeah. There's different blockchains, by the way, guys.
Bitcoin is the one that
Bitcoin's
everybody
the most
knows.
famous.
Yeah.
Your husband's working on his own. It's his own, right? It's going to be its own blockchain protocol, right?
Well, EOS, yes.
Yes.
Yeah. There are many chains. I think right now
How many are there? How many different blockchains are there?
Well, there are several. So you can do two things. One, you can build on top of an existing chain. So you can use Bitcoin or you can use Ethereum. And then when you're on that network, you have to deal with either their transaction cost. It's called gas. It's the stuff that you put in the tank to make the network run. Or you have to deal with their transaction time. For Bitcoin, it's really small.
Bitcoin's slow.
Very slow. Ethereum's next. Or you build your own chain. That's the second option. And if you build your own chain, that's a really big endeavor. There are very few really good blockchain developers out in the world. Most of them are working on their own project right now. And it's an option. The chains are going to be connected together soon. This is the geeky parts, through a new technology coming out called Polkadot. But at the moment, Ethereum is the top one that people are building on, like we did, because it's the easiest to use, most ubiquitous. And so there's probably, I'd say, like somewhere between 1,000 and 3,000 new coins that are now on top of Ethereum.
So basically, what people do, so you have this, we'll take Ethereum, for example. Bitcoin, by the way, is still by far the most traded coin, the most traded cryptocurrency.
It just hit over $100 billion in market cap. So
daily trading is like 6 times, 7 times, I think, higher than Ethereum. But Ethereum is number 2.
Well, Bitcoin is kind of like a foundational core of cryptocurrency. It's the thing that people are holding.
Yes.
And so if you're looking at like the consumer market, like when are people going to be spending, right?
Yeah,
so
they're probably spending Bitcoin.
Well, today I think they're going to be spending Ethereum more.
Okay.
Yeah, because in a retail market or in a consumer setting, you need fast transactions. I think Bitcoin's more like the slower, like hold.
So you think Bitcoin will be where they store the value?
I think so, and I think Bitcoin
holding.
is also scarce, which is why there's so many people interested in it. There are 21 million total coins ever to be minted, and with Sense, we already have 22 million coins in circulation today, and that's where we're giving the value. So those 22 million coins are going to be worth $2.2 million dollars equivalent when we're done raising the token sale, the end of the ICO.
By the way, to get it, you go to Sense, just like, Common Sense, sensetoken.com, sensetoken.com in 6 days. But you can sign up now. But you can't actually get the token yet. And then you click the little button here called Get Notified, and then you put in your email, and you're going to get an email back and then you can click and put in my referral code TY, and then you will get a chance to get some of the $2.2 million worth of coin. It's going to be worth $2.2 million.
Well,
how are you pricing it?
There are two ways to get it. There are actually 3 ways to get it. If you're a developer, I'll mention those. If anybody's a developer on here, I'll mention the third way. But there are 2 ways to get it. One is you can do what Ty just said, and you can go to the Sense Token website. You're going to buy it, and so you're going to be buying it at a discount. Yes. So basically, when it comes out, let's say that the price set today is 10 cents per coin, which is why 22 million coins is going to become $2.2 million. You will be able to buy at 10 cents. When we give you a discount, it'll essentially be 8 cents.
So you're getting 20% discount.
Right.
If you get in.
Or depending on the volume and depending on your place in line, might be less, might be 9 cents. And then that's one way. So one way is to buy it. The second way, and the way that people have it today, is to earn it. You can get it for free. So you go to Sensei, SENSAY.
Yep.
You can find Sensei Bot in Facebook Messenger or on Telegram. Those are the two best ones that I like to use.
You're using Telegram. Telegram's trying to compete with WhatsApp.
Yeah,
basically.
I love Telegram.
You like it better than
Telegram
WhatsApp?
is like, well, because Telegram has features like Snapchat. It
Yeah.
explodes your messages. You can delete things and make it, it's very secure too.
And also, yeah, it's not stored.
Yeah.
Central stored. So if you're...
Have you used the bots on there's you can play poker with your friends. There's a lot of different chat bots that exist on all of these different
Messenger
messengers.
was started by that Russian guy, too. What's his name? I forget. There's this Russian entrepreneur. He's like 30 years old, and he started like the Google of Russia and all this stuff. Someone said her voice is really smooth. I enjoy listening to her.
Oh, that's very sweet. I like Francois's voice. She's my favorite
Francois,
voice.
we need more voice.
Hello, boys and girls.
Smooth
Hey,
jazz
be
radio.
careful with that voice. We got a lot of teenage boys. You're going to have a whole set of fans.
Nice.
It's always nice
Nice.
to have a fan base.
Francois likes attention. She's shy.
You,
know,
might be able to chat with Francoise if you use Sensei. It might come to her
Yeah,
phone. You
my-
just have to put in, I want to talk to a unicorn.
Let's give some money away. All right, here's a question for you. What price did I say, or did Crystal say she's going to launch? Let's do this for Instagram. Instagram, only on Instagram. What price is the Sense token going to be offered before the discount? Let's go. 10 cents. There we go. Let me get wins. $100.
Hard cold cash. We're going to give you digital currency
She's
soon.
going to give digital. What would you rather have, hardcore cash or digital cryptocurrency, some kind of crypto? What do you like about both? Because, I mean, there's some advantage of having old school fiat US dollars or pounds. Like you can literally go and get sushi right now, or you can
Sure.
buy an airplane ticket.
Okay, well, let's
But
talk.
what's the advantage of coins?
Let's
'Cause
talk about
coin-
both. So, okay, if I put this in my pocket right now,
Yep.
this digital money, it's the same thing essentially as if I put this in my pocket. iPhone, you're going to give away one, right? We'll give away
Yep,
this
we're
one.
going to give away an iPhone.
So these two things are equally secure. Both could be stolen. Both could be lost. So I could put $10,000 in my pocket, or I could put $10,000 on my phone in cryptocurrency. The difference is I have a private key on the phone, right?
Yep.
So I could lose the phone, but my cryptocurrency is still secure. Nobody else can access it. And there's one more element. If you have this cash, it's difficult for you to do anything with it other than hold it and spend it unless you want to put it in a bank account. And if you put it in a bank account, now you're going to start losing pieces of it because the fees are going to add up, and it's going to be very difficult to buy anything online. Basically, the top place where you want to do commerce is inaccessible. So digital currency really is going to be the way that we do everything. We're going to want to keep control of our money. We don't want to give it away and put it in a bank, or maybe we don't want people to know that we have this cash. We earned it doing something. That maybe we don't want to.
Zach.
We don't want a paper trail, right? And digital currency offers the same thing.
Pablo
It's-
Escobar.
It's just like cash, but it's better.
Yes, and the other thing with blockchain, so the people get confused about a few things. You have Bitcoin, because these are the words you hear people throwing out. Bitcoin first, because the average person doesn't know about Ethereum, ETH, or any of the alternative coins. They call them altcoins. So you got Bitcoin, you got blockchain, and you have cryptocurrency. So the simplest way to understand that is blockchain is the technology behind it that's going to make this thing work. So instead of holding this cash right here that I have in my hand, this $100 or this $10,000 cash, you're going to have, like she said, this is in the future, okay, 5 years from now, 10 years from now. Some people are already doing it, but most people aren't. You're going to have a little private code. Do not forget this code.
Yeah.
Because if you forget this code, you could have $100 million. If you get amnesia, nobody can access it. You lose
That's
it
like my
all.
uncle. He
Well-
was given some Bitcoin a couple of years back, and he doesn't even.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Oh, man,
he
he
doesn't
had-
know where it's at.
He probably has
my
like $10
God.
million.
That's $10 million.
Do you know? Can I ask them a question that
Okay.
they can earn money on?
Cents,
Can I
yes.
give them some cents?
Yep.
Or we can give them your money or my money.
money.
Do you know what the first purchase was? The first purchase that ever happened through Bitcoin?
Cocaine.
Pornography.
Yeah, yo.
Everything starts with porn.
Pizza, that person right there.
Pizza?
Pizza,
I knew it was a
and
P.
the
Who
amount,
was accepting crypto?
the amount that they sent, it was I think it was Papa John's, and I think it was in New York, but that could be validated by somebody who has an internet connection. And it would be worth today $20 million.
Oh my!
So the
They
amount that they
shouldn't have done
spent on pizza, yeah, it's $20 million. I think it was 10,000 bitcoins.
10,000
Right, so-
bitcoins. which is now where right now Bitcoin is up as high as it's been. It passed $6,000 a while ago, and it used to what were they? It was at first it was worth. What did it start out at?
Well, at zero, right? So mining Bitcoin meant that
Yeah.
you were participating in the network. You took your time and your processing power, and you did these transactions. And in the early, 2009, it was like maybe $1.50, it went up to $2. But it's only as valuable as the money people are willing to exchange for it.
Yes,
So
which
that's the other thing is like this cash is only good in our country. Like even though we think that everyone wants more USD, when you go to Fiji, for instance, like really they do want you to do the exchange, and then you lose a percentage because you have to exchange it, and you go through the process of having to exchange it back when you leave. So it's not global, and cryptocurrency is global. Everybody can use it.
Yep. It transcends borders. And this is why it's controversial. You see top people on both sides. So you see people like Ray Dalio, who is anti-cryptocurrency, or he says it's a Ponzi scheme. Then you see people like Bill Gates that says, he says, look, no one's going to be able to stop this cryptocurrency thing. Governments aren't. You see China, they banned ICOs and the price of cryptocurrency went up. Russia just banned it, but they went out and they created their own cryptocurrency, which I thought was very funny.
Well,
Peter Thiel
right.
likes it. So it depends. Now, do you think it's in a bubble? People were asking, is crypto, Bitcoin, ETH, is all these ICOs just a bubble?
It depends on what you're saying is a bubble, right? So like ICOs, the reason that they got banned is because regulatory constraints, like the regulations can't get around it fast enough. This is why I'm on the ICO Governance Foundation. We're working to create standards in essentially the Wild West. This is a decentralized environment. This is a place where we sort of create the rules, and so it's up to us to create standards around them. I think that it's a bubble in the sense of all of the ones that are raising money for the sake of raising money it's gonna pop at some point. That's gonna burst.
So you mean raising money for bad business ideas,
Right,
basically.
or no business idea at all, like selling something and not delivering. A big red flag, and by the way, if you're raising capital, this is a big red flag to investors. If you have a business plan that is either so far out, like we're going to embed chips into the brain that can, implant the taste of food, and it's going to happen through the iPhone in the next 2 years. Like nobody's going to believe that. Or we're getting to Saturn, right, and we're going to colonize it, and that's our big goal. Like it's just too far away of a roadmap. You've got to be really more realistic about what you're executing on.
Yeah, and the good thing about what I thought was interesting about Crystal's ICO is that it's for something that's already actually being used. Over 3 million people have already accessed this bot, this artificial intelligence bot on iPhones, on Messenger apps, on Facebook apps, on Telegram. So you're raising money in a smarter way and people putting money. There's no guarantees. No one knows exactly where your coin valuation will go, but it is better in my experience. For example, in real estate, it's less risky to invest in real estate that has activity behind it. So if you ask a smart real estate person, what's the riskiest real estate that you can invest in? What's the answer? Because there's different types of real estate. And the answer is raw land. If you buy raw land, like there's tremendous upside. Some of the biggest final profit deals that people have made come from raw land. I had a mentor and an investor in one of my companies years ago who would take raw land. He did it in Portland, Oregon a lot. That was his main place. And he would build skyscrapers. So he would take a raw piece of land downtown, buy it, and then he would get an architect and he would go through all the planning committees, and he would make $50 to $100 million when he was done. But
After how long?
it took him, let's say, 5 years. But the thing is, this is a true story. I was in his office. First time I went to his house, he had a huge house. He had 40,000 square foot house. So this house that I'm in, 16,000 square feet, it's pretty big. But this guy's house was double. I never even saw it all. He gave me one wing. He's like, you can stay in this wing of the house. And I was waiting for him. He said, wait here in my office. And there was a bill on his desk. And I couldn't help but see it. And it was $500,000. It was a lawyer bill. And he came in and I was like, man, that's a pretty big, it was for 1 month, by the way. It wasn't a year's bill. And I was like, that's a big bill. And he goes, yep. That was for a real estate deal. And I said, how much money did you make when you invested $500,000 in the legal? He goes, oh, that deal fell through. I ended up not doing anything. And I was like, wait a sec, you put 500 grand? And he looked at me, I'll never forget it. He goes, Ty, business takes balls. He goes, this is how it works. I put 500, it cost me on average, due diligence, $500,000 per deal that I do. Out of every 10 deals, only one of them works. Okay, 9 of them. So he puts in 9 times 500 grand. That's $4.5 million. One of them works, and it makes him 50 to 100 million. And he said his profit is roughly 25 million. And he goes, you know what? There's only me and one other guy in this state that have the balls to do these deals. Maybe it's a woman, by the way. And so going back to this whole conversation, if you're doing really risky deals, just realize 9 out of 10 of them will fail. If you buy a condo or an apartment or a business like what Crystal's already created, the odds are much lower that it will fail because it already has customers. Or if you buy a duplex that's already rented out to 2 people, maybe you'll overpay a little bit, but there's constant cash flow coming in. So anyway, that's my general business 2 cents.
Yeah, the real estate is amazing as an investment. I think that's always going to be the foundational core. Humans are always going to need a place to live. The challenge with real estate, because I own some, is liquidity.
Right.
So I put my money in, and it has to sit there for at least 5 years before I'm going to get some kind of meaningful return. Unless you live in Venice Beach, where I live, we've had a really amazing influx. I guess maybe, thank you to all the tech companies that have moved in, and the city's growing really rapidly. But liquidity is the hard part there, and liquidity is also the hard part for venture capitalists. So if you're raising capital, they have to look at your company like, hey, this is going to be at least 5 years until you're going to exit or provide me some meaningful return, right? And that's the difference with what cryptocurrency does. The hackers are, when they see the word crypto, the hackers come in. Hey, by the way, if you are a developer here, I will tell you that third way of how to make some sense.
What's the third way? Code?
Yeah, so there's the 3 ways. The first way we talked about was you can buy it, and the second way is actually much easier. You can earn it. You can get it for free. So that's Sensei the bot. If you go to SENSAY bot.
You know what I'm gonna make, by the way? This is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna make a special redirect, tylopez.com/sense, like SENSE. Remind Maya to do that, and we'll redirect it. We got 1 minute and 44 seconds left. So let's wrap up with this. tylopez.com/SENSE, sense, like common sense. When you click that, it's going to redirect you to her page. Click the little link to get notifications. It'll send you this redemption or this little code place. Put in Ty. That won't hurt you.
Yeah.
And it will allow you to get access potentially some of this 2.2 million. Now let's give away this iPhone.
Yeah.
We got this because we got to do it in 1 minute. So here is the question. The question is, I'm going to make it real easy. It's going to go very, very, very fast. Somebody said she's beautiful.
Thank you.
Okay. How many ways can you earn Sense Coin? 1 to 10 ways. How many can you? First person to say it's getting this iPhone. There we go.
Boom.
Jan DeRay on Twitter.
Nice.
There's 3 ways.
Now I have to tell them the third way. So
Programmers.
The third way is you can contribute. Any developer can build a bot. We will give you cents. We will give you a number, maybe 100,000. We have numbers ranging depending on your programming skills. And if you want to build a bot, just go to sensetoken.com/developers, and we will let you into the pre-sale early, so you get to have access early and you get to build on the network.
tylopez.com/sense.
Yeah.
Okay, Crystal. Francois, can we get a final voice?
Goodbye and thank you.
Zach, say goodbye. Somebody said Ty for governor. I don't want to be governor.
They said Ty for president
See
before.
ya. Bye. Later.
Zach is trying to do his
Later.
Beatles.
Later. See you later.
All right, see you guys.
Ty, thank you so much.
No, thank you.